sing together. Good morning. Welcome to the University Unitarian Universalist Fellowship. My name is Lindsay Stroh, and I'll be your service leader this morning. And this is my first time, so please be very gentle with me.
We love you, Lindsay.
Thank you. In preparing for this service, first we have committee moments, and committee moments will be up there in a minute. Showing these are the different committee updates. Committee leaders, if your information is complete up there, that's fine. If you have something that you need to add to that, come on up and speak to us.
Hi, Marilyn.
Good morning, Mary Ann Feldheim, Social Action Committee. We have a meeting after service. We'll be meeting back in the library. It's also online. I think they can hear me. Maybe online they can, but so. Anyway, social action both on Zoom and in person.
Yeah.
Good morning, I'm Lorraine Williams from the Pastoral Care Committee. We are in need of drivers to help our members get to various appointments. Next up is Martha. I will be up here after service, and if you can help out, I have Martha's next 6-week schedule in my pocket, so I'm looking to fill up some of the slots with names of people that can get her to her PT appointments. We have other members too who are in need of not as regular appointments, but if people can let me know and I can get you on a list to help, I would appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Lorraine. And I will be able to drive again in December, not January. I'd counted the months wrong, so it's not much longer. Yay. I'm here on behalf of the program team. We're working in conjunction with First U, and it is up here. David Novak Storytelling Weekend next weekend. We have a workshop here that's free on Saturday morning from 9 to 12. There's a concert event next Saturday night at 1U that's intergenerational, kids can go. And then Sunday afternoon, also at 1U, is a storytelling more for religious education or people that may really need to tell stories more. But all of it's free. It's the evening concert. We're asking for a $10 donation. But I would encourage you to go look up David Novak. He's internationally known, and this kind of got scheduled sort of last minute, and then we've had a lot of complications getting it going, but it's really going to be worthwhile. And sharing stories, your personal stories, and helping other people tell their stories is what changes hearts and minds out in the political arena. So, you know, we've got to be able to share more in such a way to get other people to care about what we care about. So I really think it's going to be great. I'm going to go, and I'll need a ride, so if somebody wants to go with me, let me know. Anyway, it's really going to be good, so check them out. I know we've just been announcing it and there's stuff around, but take a look at it. And if you have any desire to learn how to tell stories, or even find your story, it's going to be really worthwhile.
Hi, Chloe Hatfield on behalf of Women's Group. So it is correct, on October 6th at 6:30 we will be meeting here at the sanctuary. What we're going to be doing is we are going to be teaching divination. We think that's going to be a very fun thing to do for October, for this spooky month. So we will be teaching divination, tools to, you know, find things and look into the future.
Are there any things online? Okay. My opening words, as I was looking at our theme for today, these words came to me. Dreams can be sweet. They take you back to times and places where you felt loved and happy, and the dear ones you miss are beside you. May those dreams bring you comfort. Dreams can be revealing. They can revisit times of trouble and trauma. May you relate those dreams in your waking hours to find resolution. Dreams can be useful, helping you fit the puzzle pieces together. May you wake with solutions dancing in your head. Dreams can be creative. Poems, songs, and stories often begin in dreams. May your dreams inspire you. Dreams can be restful. Breathe deeply and let your dreams soothe you. May you awake with a smile, feeling rested. Our opening music is Bring On Morna Justice. I almost said Bring On Mom. That's what it looked like. Bring On Morna music. And that is going to be led by Reverend Michael Richards.
Well, Mum can come too, as we sing. As I was looking at the words to this hymn, and thought I'd look up to see who wrote them. And you'll notice if you have your hymn books, words were written by William Channing Gannett. He was born in Boston on March 13th in 1840. He was named after and imprisoned by William Ellery Channing, who was the founder of American Unitarianism. His father, Ezra Stiles Gannett, had gone from the Harvard Divinity School to be Dr. Channing's associate, and in 1842 became his successor at Old Federal Street Church, now the Arlington Street Church in Boston. Ezra Stiles Gannett is one of the founders of American Unitarian Association. He was his first secretary and later its president. And so William grew up in the Temple of Boston Unitarianism. After graduation from Harvard College in 1860, he taught school for a year in Newport, Rhode Island. He then entered Harvard Divinity School and graduated in 1868. He served numerous churches in the eastern part of the country and out in the Midwest. And his final parish was in Rochester, New York, where one of his parishioners was Susan B. Anthony. They were great friends, and they worked together to have women admitted to the then exclusively male University of Rochester. And along with his close friend Jenkin Lloyd-Jones of Chicago, he founded Unity as an organ of Western religious radicalism. He wrote many hymns across denominational lines in the hymn books, and this hymn, Bring, O Morn, Thy Music, are modern words to replace the evangelical text to the tune Nicaea, which is probably his most widely sung hymn today. So, join me as we sing the three verses of Bring, O Morn, Thy Music. It's number 39 in the hymn books.
I forgot in the beginning to remind you that if you have phones or other things that ding, please be sure and turn them off during our time together. Our chalice lighted this morning is Chase. He uses the pronouns he and him. He is age 13, and he says that he just got a new haircut. And I'm a little slow on this, so this is my first time, Chase, so be patient with me, okay? Oh, there's a match that doesn't work. All right. Come on now, be good. Nope, it's not gonna like this one. That's not gonna work. Got a dead match. Patient, huh?
I gotta do it.
I know you do, okay. We have one of those flamethrower things in here. Do we? Ah, I am not doing this. Somebody. Like this candle right here.
It's okay, everybody needs some help sometimes. It's more than a minute.
That's right.
I think this is one of those times.
This makes me feel better. Where's the flamethrower?
I got it, if you want to pass it.
I should have done that.
No, I've never been able to make one of
Hey,
those. There we go.
there we go. Sometimes you need a flamethrower. We are not having luck today, are we?
Here, let's do it this way. Here, together. Okay? Do it with this.
Let us say the words for lighting the chalice together. In the light of truth and the warmth of love, we gather to seek, to sustain, and to share. And our words of affirmation together. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its gift. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek truth and love, and to help one another. I want to welcome any guests we have this morning, both here in the congregation and out there in Webland. Let's say hello to all the folks that are watching us virtually. If you are here for the first time, we offer you a very warm welcome. And we have speakers who come from our own congregation. We have our minister, Reverend Tracie, and we have people who come from local universities, other congregations. So if this is your first time, come several times. You'll get the full breadth of what we do here. At this time, I would like to have our time of joys and concerns. If you have something on your heart that you would like to share, you can line up over there and tell us about it.
I'll go first. Benefit of sitting in the front row. I'm Reverend Tracie, and on Thursday, October 5th, if you all will have some good thoughts for me around 11 a.m., I would appreciate it. That is when I defend my doctorate of ministry. So hopefully that Sunday I come back with very good news. So thank you.
Hello, I got my hair cut. My joy today, I got a red backpack. My joy, I got a red backpack, and my dad took me to go get a haircut. I'm doing my book club for school, and I'm drawing a poster.
This is a concern. You may have noticed Peter's not with me today. He's home taking care of our dog who is not feeling well, and he's cleaning up behind her. And so our hearts go out to both of them.
That little girl who was just here, I'm sitting behind her, and she was dancing all during the movie, the music. So I have a few things to share this morning. The first is my biopsy was done this past week, and my doctors tell me that she'd never seen such a good job. Very, very minor puncture, big ass needle, tiny little hole. And so now we're waiting results, and I'm very excited about that. So Leslie, who I'm truly grateful for to have her friendship, and I did it again. Lindsay, I used to have my best friend was named Leslie, so it's a compliment. Anyway, sorry. So we had a trip. She came with me, made me feel so much better being there, and was truly extraordinary. It was on her birthday, so that's so sweet. And for her birthday, I took Lindsay out to dinner. We found this new little Italian bistro that neither one of us had ever been to. Had a wonderful meal, and it was a fantastic time. They had a singer there who was the worst restaurant singer I've ever heard in my life. Super loud on top of it. We could hardly hear each other talk, but we had a great time laughing about it. And it was good food, and we got to talk to the most adorable UCF student named Ian, who was our waiter, and he invited us to come back and ask for his table. So that was nice. Last but not least, and certainly one of the most profound experiences in my life, my parents got baptized last weekend. And I've never seen them so joyful. They were purely happy. I'm happier than I've ever seen. The grins were just, anyway, I'm delighted they experienced that, and grateful, very grateful. Thanks.
John and Amy Mowbray here. You may have heard we're moving. Like for the last 6 months, you may have heard this. We are actually moving. Callie was very sweet and organized an invite. Next week, you've also probably heard we're going to be having a speaker on veganism. John and I were trying to think of the best way to honor all of y'all. This is not a party for us, no matter what Kelly wrote. Although I love her for writing it, this is not about us. This is about you guys and what you've given us over the years. Do the rest.
So there's going to be food next week.
Vegan food.
Now I'll take it back and correct him.
All right, go ahead.
No, you're doing great.
What else? So vegan food next Sunday.
It's like potluck, but you don't have to bring anything except yourselves. We're providing the vegan feast after service. Again, this is not about us. This is about you guys. So please come if you can. There's a way to RSVP in the email that Kelly sent out. If you don't know where that email went, you can find me after service for a little while, and I will just make a note in my phone of who hasn't, if you want to RSVP to us. We kind of do want a good count because we don't have anywhere to put this food, y'all. So, if there's leftover, so we need to eat it all. Thank you. I hope you guys can make it.
Yep.
Hi, I just wanted to say Alan and I have been out of town for, about 6 weeks, I guess. And we were up in our country place in Pennsylvania with a lot of our family up there, and it was a wonderful time. And then we went visiting all the relatives we hadn't seen in Yonkers and Philadelphia and Baltimore. And then we got home, and the day we got home, we found out that we'd been exposed where we last stayed to COVID, and Alan came down with it the next day. So, but it's been 14 days now, so I think he's fine, and he feels fine, so. And I never got it, luckily. That, it's very nice to be back and to see all of you.
Hi, Chloe Hatfield. I think either Wednesday or Thursday is going to be the official start for my haunt season at a petrified forest. You all should come. It's really fun. During the middle of the week, I got a message from the directors, and they changed me very last minute into a different a trail. We have 3 trails. And that's my joy because, oh my gosh, I love my role so much. I love the room that I am in. I love what I'm going to be doing. And I can't give too much information because we're not open yet, but I'm very joyful. I'm just so psyched for this haunt season.
Barry, London. Some of you may know that I had cancer a year ago, prostate cancer, and went through the program and I graduated, top of my class. And some forms are more scary than other forms, but I thought it might be worthwhile if we created a society, a group of people that have gone through this, because there are people that are into the situation now and they may be very uncomfortable and concerned, and you'd have some people that said, hey, I've been there, I can talk to you about that. Don't know how many there are, but if anybody has had this process and would like to come with me, join with me at some point, we could talk after the service and we can see if we can help anybody else.
Thank you, Billy. I have a joy from our online group. Sarah and Joe must be watching this morning, and they are excited for the NASA mission OSIRIS-REx that is recovering a sample from an asteroid right now. Fingers crossed for a successful mission, and their friend Beth is one of the lead scientists on the mission. That must be really fun to watch.
I have a joy to share as well. Next Sunday, I will be getting on the auto train and going up to the D.C. area, visiting my son in Virginia, visiting friends in the Baltimore area, and then going up to the Allegheny Mountains in Pennsylvania. I understand the leaves are already changing there, so it should be beautiful. And this is for the annual Judy Bolton weekend, which are the fans of my mother's books who gather every year for this thing. 3 years ago, I started a writing contest for junior high students in the county. And this year we've gotten 64 entries, so that'll be fun. I've been glancing at some of the writing, and they're quite interesting. I especially enjoyed the child who said that the criminal led the cops on a 50-state car chase. So they've got an imagination. This is Time for All Ages. James? There he is.
Do you want to do a moment of silence? You don't have to. I was just...
This is why I have helpers here. Are there any joys and concerns perhaps that weren't mentioned? Let's have a moment of silence for those that are still in our hearts. Thank you. James.
Good morning, everyone. I don't think I can talk loud enough for the people on the internet to hear me, so probably a good thing I use the mic. For those of you who don't know, Yom Kippur begins this evening at sundown. While I don't have time to fully explain the holiday, I can share some of its themes, saying we're sorry and making amends, looking for ways we can be better, and choosing to do good in the world. Fittingly, our RE lessons today focus on ethical decision-making and repairing relationships. While our middle and high school kids are going to be looking at what they can learn about ethical decision-making from the movie Captain America, our littlest UUs and upper elementary kids are going to be learning about how we can make things better when we've acted in a way that can cause harm. This, as I'm sure we all know, is a skill that everyone can use. None of us are perfect, and we all make mistakes sometimes. Sometimes those mistakes end up hurting other people. Understanding how to handle it when that happens, how to go about making things better after something's gone wrong, is really important. So, I'm going to share one useful framework for this. It goes like this, and my glasses are falling off my nose, so I'm going to push it up really quickly. First, look at what the situation was like for the other person, how what you did affected them. Maybe, for instance, you got mad at your sibling and knocked down the block tower they'd spent a long time making, and now the tower that they put so much effort into and cared about is a pile of blocks. Second, say what you did and how it was harmful, and say you're sorry if you are. For instance, you could tell your sibling, "I got angry and knocked over your tower. Now you don't have a tower anymore. I'm sorry." Third, help to make things better. In this case, maybe you offer to help your sibling rebuild their tower, or even to rebuild it for them. You want to try to undo the harm you caused as best you can. Fourth, and finally, act differently in the future. The next time you find yourself in a similar situation, make a different choice. Maybe next time you're angry, you can remember to use your words to explain how you feel rather than knocking anything over. So that's one useful framework for how to help repair things when we make mistakes that hurt other people. Look, say, help, and act. Can you guys think of any other examples of how we might use this technique to repair a wrong? Anyone? There we go. Oh, you weren't raising your hand? Okay. Sorry.
I'm not so much thinking of examples, but just wishing that my mother had had a clue about this and taught all of us this system for dealing with anger.
Thank you. Here we go.
We use it all the time. Pause, something happens, what could we have done differently, and apologizing. And sometimes you can't apologize right away, so you need a little space or time out, and then coming back and figuring that out. So thanks for bringing that up again.
Thank you.
Well, I was just thinking that it didn't have to be for righting a wrong. You could use the technique proactively for just reaching out.
Can you explain that a little more?
So you look, maybe you're seeing that somebody's struggling with something. You didn't cause it. You're not apologizing, but you can look, you can ask, you can say how it affects you, and you can maybe offer some ideas or suggestion or just listen to the other person.
Thank you. That's wonderful. Okay, I don't see any more hands. If anyone else sees any more hands, let me know, because I may be missing them. Okay, no more hands. Cool. So thank you guys so much. I hope you have a wonderful rest of the morning, and goodbye.
There you go. Thank you for helping James get his steps in this morning. Our offering, and Janet Levins and Gary Levins are providing music for our offering. Yes? Okay.
It's me and the boys.
Oh, sorry, it's Paula and the guys who's providing our music for the offering. And I leave you to lead the singing. Standing up?
I'm not going to ask him to do that with baskets going around.
Yes.
Come sing a song with me, Come sing a song with me. Come sing a song with me. And I might know your mind. And I'll bring you hope when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time. Come dream a dream with me. Come dream a dream with me. Come dream a dream with me, that I might know your mind. And I'll bring you hope when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time. Come walk in rain with me. Come walk in rain with me. Come walk in rain with me, that I might know your mind. And I'll bring you hope when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time. Come share a rose with me. Come share a rose with me. Come share a rose with me, that I might know your mind. And I'll bring you hope when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time.
A lovely song. Let us sing the children to their classes. We love you and bless you and send you on your way. We love you and bless you today and every day. Our presentation this morning is by our own Reverend Tracie Barrett. Reverend Tracie is working on her doctorate. She is a graduate of Midville Lombard School of Theology in Chicago and is working on her doctorate at Theological Seminary. And she lives in Orlando with her husband and 3 kitty cats. So let's welcome Reverend Tracie.
Yes, 3 cats who get charged rent but don't earn any money to pay for their rent. So if anybody's got some part-time jobs for some cats, I'd appreciate it. So we just sang the hymn that was the inspiration for this service. Come dream a dream with me, that I might know your mind. Now, my favorite types of questions and conversations are the ones about people's dreams. And I don't mean the nighttime kind, although those can be interesting too. I mean the types of dreams that talk about our passions, our purposes, our wishes, our hopes, those dreams. Now, during my first year with you all, we had a service where you shared your dreams. And we wrote them on big red hearts, and we put them in the hallway, and I put them there, hoping that as you saw them regularly, we'd be able to see what our hopes and dreams were for this congregation. And we did accomplish some of them, and others we're still working on. Now, today is not a repeat of that service. No, for today I'm following up on what I asked you a month ago. Why are we here? Not just here on Sunday mornings for an hour or so, not why each one of you are here on Sunday morning, whether here in person or online. While that's important, that's not what I'm asking. Now, see, I want to know why collectively we, University Unitarian Universalist Fellowship, are here in this spot in East Orlando in 2023. If we can figure out why we, as a congregation, as Unitarian Universalists, are here in this area at this time, then we can dream, and our dreams can come to fruition. Now, we've been celebrating our first 30 years as a congregation this year. And in just the time I've been with you, I've seen some amazing things to celebrate. And now, as we start to transition into the holidays and then the start of our 31st year, I want us to start thinking about where we're going. And to do that, we're going to do some sharing. Now, if you read today's service blurb in the newsletter or on Facebook or on the website, then you saw that this is an interactive service. And if you didn't, surprise! So I'll know if you're surprised, that means you don't read our informations. But in a moment, I'm going to give you all about 5 minutes to share with your neighbor or in the Zoom room or in the comments on YouTube why you think we, as a congregation, are here in a moment. Remember, this is not why you're here. Why do you feel we, collectively, are here? And this isn't going to be a long conversation because we have more to do today, 1 to 2 sentences at most, and make sure both people get a chance to answer, if you're doing this in person especially. All right, everyone understand? Why do you feel we, as a congregation, are here? Okay, go. You have 5 minutes. Tracie. But I'm hearing bits of good conversations, so. Yeah. And a hush fell over the crowd. Hush. And a hush fell over the crowd. Hush. This works much better with young people. And a hush fell over the crowd. Hush. Thank you. Sorry to interrupt. Those were some really good conversations. And so now what I want to hear is from a few of you, 3 or 4 responses. Take turns so that I can hear one person at a time. If you would like to share out what you or your partner said, and if somebody who can see online who wants to share anything that might be there, let me know. But you can just speak them out and I'll repeat them. You don't need to get up, Martha. No, I'm going to repeat them out. That's going to save some time than everybody having to get up. But if you have something you wish to share, one at a time, just raise your hand so I can point. We can all, and then I'll repeat what you've said so everybody can hear. So, anybody want to share out, or I'll start calling on people. I used to be a teacher. Yes, ma'am.
We feel like we are here for fellowship and spiritual growth.
Okay, we feel like we're here for fellowship and spiritual growth. How about another one? Yes, ma'am.
I feel that part of our mission is to support our values and to act on those values in a state where those values are being compromised continuously.
Awesome. Living out our values, supporting those groups that are doing the same work, and making sure that we're living out our values in this state that is definitely difficult. I saw Lorraine and then Martha. Mm-hmm.
So in response to why are we here, this community here in this place, it was the idea of there was only one flavor of UU, and to bring UU out to this end of town, near the university, lots of families, to spread the UU values and ideas.
I like that. So Barry and Marilyn are founding members, and they said that we're here so that we'd have a second flavor of UU, because we have First U downtown, and so that we could bring our values out here to the university area in specific. So thank you. Martha.
It's been on my mind a lot lately, the way, especially in Florida, right now, with a lot of diverse discussions, that our values need to be part of that discussion, Mary Ann.
Mm-hmm.
Here together, we can learn ways to support each other and go out in the community, because it is hard.
Right.
And then we come back and refresh and go out again and finding our why. And I still think that our diverse beliefs and shared values and our faith is important. And we need to be inviting more people to join us.
Right.
And that we do that by being out there and sharing our values and sharing a better way forward.
Right. So what Martha said in summary is that we are here to kind of learn how to live our values out in the world and to support one another, kind of like a base camp. We come back here to bind our wounds and to be fed and to share news and then to go back out and do it again. Right. So, Leanne.
So in a time and state where there is a lot of lack of love and understanding, I believe we're here to be an antidote to that, and to provide a safe haven, a love and support and sharing a voice.
So being that space that is safe for those who share our values, especially in this state that is so against everything that we say we are for, right? And to not only be able to live those values out, but to be that space that people can come to. I like that. All right, do we have any more do we have any that were online that you got notice of? Nope, okay. So what I'm hearing a lot of is this idea of being here to know how to go out, right? Can we say that that's kind of what, to learn what to do and to be a haven for people. So, okay, we've got a starting place. Now, this doesn't put the question to bed. We did not just solve it all. I hate to break that to you. I wish it were that easy, right? But I hope that we're starting to know one another's minds here, because that's part of that song. Come dream a dream with me that I might know your mind. Because we may not all agree on why we're here. And that's okay because it takes a lot of conversation to figure it out. And we're not going to get to all of it today, as much as I wish that would be like, boom, solve, everything's all done in one quick and easy sermon. Not that easy. But I want to get you started thinking this way. Now we're going to take that question and go a little bit deeper. I'm going to have you talk to your neighbor again in the Zoom room or on YouTube comments. And based on your answer to why we're here, can you name a big dream about how we make that why happen? And I mean big. Think outside the box, think outside the budget, because when we dream, we need to dream big. We can worry about the steps to get there and the money and the resources and the volunteer or staff needs later. Because today has not come plan a plan with me, and today has not come do things the same way with me. Today has come dream a dream with me. So swing for those fences. No one is committing you to your idea. Okay, so don't worry that it's one of those things of tag you're it, that you're going to come up with this great idea and we're going to be like, fantastic, run with that, make it happen, do the thing. We're not doing that. No one is committing you for your idea to be immediately worked on, with measurable goals and budgets and such. We're not doing that today. So especially our board members, take your board hat off for a little bit. Don't worry about that. We're dreaming, and we're dreaming big. And not just, ooh, let's have a full program and full services and lots of money in the bank. Because I might ask you to tell me why that relates to your why. Based on what you all said a few minutes ago about why you think we're here, what our purpose is for being in this place in this time, right? Sharing our values with the world, with the community, being that safe space, being that place where we can be base camp for each other. How would you make that happen? What's your dream about how we live out that purpose that you named? You understand? Yeah, cool. So I'm going to give you 4 minutes each on this one, so about 8 minutes total. I'll kind of do like what we did this time when I start seeing it kind of wind down. I'll pull it, but I want to make sure you've got time. And I'm going to invite you to switch places if you did, so we get a chance in your little groups or your neighbor groups to make sure everybody gets heard. And our friends on Zoom, you can decide how you want to do this, whether everybody talks or just types into chat. But either way, all right? Ready? Go. How would you do your why? Ghosts in the kitchen. So make sure your other person gets a chance to talk. Switch people if you haven't switched already. Got another couple of minutes. All right, and a hush fell over the crowd. Hush. So before we continue, I want to lift up what our online Zoom room has said about our last question. They said that they talked about what being part of the church is even when remote, and they feel as if we're allowing people to come and participate, and it's also good that we are able to be together while we share. So our online people also are very much a part of our congregation, and we, for many reasons that they stay home. In some of them, if you are sick, please stay home. But so that's what this. So this was interesting to watch. You guys were really getting into this. So once again, I want to know your mind. So I'm going to have a few people different from last time. I want to hear some different voices. Tell me your why in 1 or 2 words if possible, and then your dream. So something like this. I believe we are here to do X, and I'm dreaming of us doing Y to make that happen. Make sense? So somebody who has not spoken before, say it loud and clear, and I'll repeat it for the microphones. And I keep seeing people pointing at Amy, so I'm going to ask Amy to stand. You got voluntold, my dear. Get it in now. Mm. Right.
People don't feel alone. I know how I felt the first time I walked into a youth church. It was like mind blowing because I just didn't know such a thing existed. Like I thought church was the next house.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then I love Chris's idea. I talk about like food truck Friday, but I like Friday better. Of trying to get the congregation to come together to provide that sense of community by providing a meal, whether it's once a month or once a week, whatever we could do, and something that we provide to bring people in to take care of them.
I like that.
Let them get to know us, and then I really need you to share what you share.
All right, let me repeat what Amy said first so I don't forget it, and then I'll turn it over to Chris to follow up on that. So Amy said part of her why is we're here to be found by those who are looking for us, right? Who maybe don't know they're looking for us yet, and who need to have a space. And so one of the hows was, what if we did a once a month or more often dinner for the community, especially our UCF community, and we know that there are students who are, don't have the resources to have regular meals, and to just provide a meal with no, like, you do this and we do that, but just to be part of the community, right, so that they can find us. So Chris, follow up on that for us.
So I think it's interesting. Well, and the other, Josh's thing was we need to take action.
That's the voluntold row back there, that's why. Mm.
So, about the RE building, when it was being built, most of the workers who came thought we were a cult, and were very, very uncomfortable being on our property. So I think it's really important to realize that what we're presenting to the community may not be the
Yeah, because there's not a lot of information out there about Unitarian Universalists, right? Like I've seen the commercials that are done by a lot of the other denominations. And it's getting out there, people know who they are, and we don't do that. And I've always, I mean, I have thoughts on why, but we need to do something like that, right? So that people know who we are and don't think we're a cult, because, you know, that can be a consideration. Thank you for that. John.
Since I don't have to do it. But it's something that different people have talked about over the years, and it kind of goes in line with, providing a place for people generally, but, along the lines of eating, if you will, is to somehow start a community garden. If it's possible in that retention area, never, if it does flood, it drains pretty quickly. If that was allowed, that, we could maybe, in working with students at UCF, like in the Fleet Farms, that's more in the Corinne Drive neighborhood area, groups of college kids ride around on bikes, and they start and maintain farms.
Oh.
And so if we could have like a farm here that, people could come and take what they need, and then you could also use that for, community potlucks and that.
I like it. So just to repeat, I know most of the people in the room probably heard John, but for our online people, John said, what about doing a community garden or a community farm and working with students from UCF or these groups that help do that, and then provide that so that people who need fresh fruits and vegetables can come and take what they need, and then we can also use the excess in making meals for the community. And I think that's a beautiful idea. So, because we feed the body and the soul kind of thing. Anyone else from in here and online, if you want to share, I've got the phone, I've got the magic phone if you want to send whatever's going on online. But, Lindsay.
When I was a kid, I was part of a Unitarian Universalist youth group. LRY, Liberal Religious Youth. And because of that, I met kids from all different Unitarian Universalist congregations. We had conferences, we had hosting, we had theme speakers, and putting on a most we were learning from the Whitney Young that we were learning about what it meant to be Unitarian, and we were also having a good time. And as a result, I kept going to church, and I kept in every congregation. When my son was young, they also had, by then it was called Why Are You You? Young Religious Unitarian. Why Are You You? And he went to Sissy with me, and he came back and said, Mom, found my people. He was welcome and felt that he was right. If we want to continue going, which we need to keep.
Absolutely, amen. That's my whole doctoral thesis, that we need to keep our young people, yes. And so finding ways to connect with our young people and with our young people across the state so that they can get back into conversation with each other. And, that is a big dream. And it's hard in Florida because Florida's so stretched out. But those conversations are starting to happen. I'm popping those seeds in where I can. And so Chris and I will be talking later because I've got some feedback to give you on how we can start connecting and some possible connections, because that is the big thing. When I went to GA and these youth who see each other every year at General Assembly, it meant so much to them to have that connection with one another, so that if they're the only youth in their congregation back home, they know there are others. And so it's the same thing with the adults, right? We need to all be connected to one another and know that we're there. So, all right, one more, and then I'm going to finish up in a minute. Yeah. So we need to tell people who we are. And whether that's billboards or, something, I don't know. But that's a big dream, and I think that's great. So this really does help me to know your mind. How about for the rest of you? Was this kind of interesting to hear from one another what your whys are and what your dreams are for this congregation? Cool. So are you starting to see how answering these two questions, why and how, can really help us to direct the ship that is Triple U, right? So we're entering a transitional year this year. There's going to be a lot of these kinds of questions asked of you and of us, of what we're doing, what we want to do next, where are we going, and I want to know your mind. Because here's the other line from this hymn that I love so much. I'll bring you hope when hope is hard to find. That's why we sing songs and dream dreams and walk in rain and share roses with one another, so that we can not only know each other's mind, but to bring hope when hope is hard to find. And it's also what we can provide to the wider community. And I heard this from you, is hope. That we are a place where there are values that support people, that believe people have dignity, how they are. The other line I like is, I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the wintertime. Now, here in Florida, we don't know how important that phrase is, but roses in the wintertime are not a thing, usually, unless you've done some magic gardening kind of stuff. And goodness knows we need to sing a song of love, right, with a hurting world. You mentioned this. This is why you feel we are all here. We're here to share love and to share hope and to share our values in a world where they are being legislated against. Beloveds, I hope that these conversations are just the start. I encourage you to continue them during coffee hour and in the coming weeks and months. Let us dream dreams together so that we might bring hope to this hurting world. Amen. May it be so, and blessed be.
Thank you, Reverend Tracie. I want to mention something that new people may not know. When we share our joys and concerns, we drop a pebble or a stone in the water. What happens when you drop it in the water? It makes ripples and it reaches out. And that's kind of the idea. So when we put our concern or our hope in there, it reaches out to the whole community. It's time to extinguish our chalice. Would you say the words with me? And thank you for being so understanding my first time doing this. Our closing music is with Janet Levins and Gary Levins, Guide My Feet. It is hymn number 348.
Right, I presume the words will be up there, so yes, they will. So Janet will give us a few measures, and then please stand and sing along. Guide my feet while I run this race. Guide my feet while I run this race. Guide my feet while I run this race. For I don't want to run this race in vain. Hold my hand while I run this race. Hold my hand while I run this race. Hold my hand while I run this race. 'Cause I don't want to run this race in vain. Stand by me while I run this race. Stand by me while I run this race. Stand want to run this race alone. Search my heart while I run this race. Search my heart while I run this race. Search my heart while I run this race. For I don't want to run this race in vain.
Before we close, I want to remind that the Social Action Committee is going to be meeting in the library after service. I grew up in a Unitarian Universalist congregation, and we ended our service with a hymn, and I'm going to just share the words. It's a Quaker hymn. Soul of truth, eternal goodness, sojourn with us as we part. Fill our minds with high endeavor. Keep us just and pure in heart. Strengthen us for daily duty. Guide us by the inner light. Hallowed be each coming morning. Calm and peaceful be each night. Amen. The service has ended. The service begins. Okay.